So, what we have here today is a good what do you bring to the table discussion with a woman who thinks she's about to cook. I haven't watched this whole video. I just got probably a minute into it and said, oh, no, 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 this is too good. I have to react to this. So, let's get into it.
saying, "Yo, what do you bring to the table?"
Let me have this. Men, y'all probably really just don't know exactly what a woman brings. Get your pens and paper. Let's talk about the purpose of a table. I'm talking to you,
Sit
love,
down.
with all the beautiful hair.
You said what they need a table for?
Right.
Like,
To sit down and eat at it, right?
right,
You
right,
gather at this
right.
table. Let's say I'm your woman, hypothetically. Everyone sitting at this table, either one came in me or came out of me. We can agree on that?
Yeah.
I'm the purpose for even having the table. Everybody at this table is nurtured, cared for, looked after by me.
So, we got to address the hyperinflated ego, right? Because she's semi right and semi wrong. She's wrong for the reasons. So what she's saying is she is a woman that nurtures and all of this stuff and creates kids is the reason that the table exists. What she is trying to insinuate is that there would be no table without her. There would be no reason to have a table without her. Now this is the thing. And she's really trying to make it look like, that she's very important as far as the table, like the table just wouldn't exist. She's right as far as that general sentiment, as far as she is the reason the table exists. But what you have to understand is it's not because she made the table. No, no, no. The man builds the table. That's what it is. A man has to build himself. A man has to cultivate all types of shit and just have his things in order. Be able to provide and et cetera, all this stuff, protect, just to get chosen by a woman, just for sex, just for sex in some cases. Guys have to have everything in line, everything in order. Nonetheless, for a woman to want to pursue commitment from that man, that's just what it is. So with that being said, you know, men, we do all of this stuff, and you'll hear people say that everything that we do is to get women or for women and stuff like that. That's the truth because we like sex, we want to procreate and stuff like that. And women practice hypergamy. Women don't want just a guy, they want the best mate that is going to provide them the best life and provide them security, protection, and all of this stuff. That's just what it is. So, with that being said, that's why the table exists. It doesn't exist because you were just such a great nurturing person and you produce kids and no, no, no. It exists because just to win you over, just to win you over, a man has to be superior to the other options that you have. So men have to work to be in that superior position, and that is how the table is built. But let's continue.
I, if I deem you worthy enough to even extend your legacy, which means give you children, consider that an honor and a privilege because parts of me have to die to give you life. There are things in my body that will never be the same after bearing children for you. And you're telling me the least, at the very least, you don't want to take care of me?
Now we got to address this overinflated ego stuff very quickly as far as like the honor and a privilege having a kid. This is the thing, man. First off, I'm just going to get this out the way. It's only an honor and a privilege if it is Planned Parenthood with the right woman. And the right woman is somebody who is really not ran through at all. Because think about it. How is it? Because this is the thing, and I'll get to this in a moment. Having a child is the byproduct of sex. How is it an honor and a privilege to have a child with somebody with 50 bodies. It's not even an honor and a privilege to have your coochie if you got 50 bodies. That's just what it is. We're not about to sit here and act like, because we'll get to the point. We're not about to sit here and act like just by default that's the case. Now, this is the thing about this. She's out of touch with reality as far as 2024, saying that it's an honor and a privilege, because this is the thing. You have a lot of chicks who, again, they'll have sex with just a bunch of men. And in some of these situations, they're not committed to the guy at all. In some of these situations, they're having sex with multiple guys at the same time. In some of these situations, they barely know the guy. It's a one night stand. But in these situations where there is casual sex, no matter how you try to identify it, casual sex, they will just so happen to get pregnant. Because a lot of these out of wedlock pregnancies, the majority of these are just not playing. They're just not playing. And then what happens? You tell him, and you have to wait to see if he wants the kid or not. You got to see what his reception is going to be, because that's going to determine whether you have a broken home or not. And even then, some of these chicks don't care. They break up with the guy or just say, man, I'm going to raise the kid on my own, or I just want child support, whatever. So a lot of kids are being had in broken homes from casual sex nowadays. And again, sex is a byproduct, or having children is a byproduct of sex. And we're in the casual sex era. So if it's not an honor and a privilege to have your coochie, it's not really an honor and a privilege for you to have kids for me. And this is the other thing, if we're being honest, a lot of these chicks, it'll be a chick who has 3 kids with 3 different baby dads who will hear this and say, yeah, even though she hate every one of those motherfuckers isn't with one of them, she'll still think that it's an honor and a privilege because this shit sounds good. It sounds good. Listen, the only way it's an honor and a privilege is if you are a modest woman, you have a very low body count. I don't expect a chick to be a virgin, man. It's 2024. You are lucky as fuck if you find somebody with 5 bodies. That's unrealistic in these times. It's unrealistic. But if you find somebody with 2, 3, 4 bodies, they don't got no kids, they haven't bared somebody else's children, only in a situation like that can it even possibly be considered an honor and a privilege. And even in that situation, that's debatable. I don't really buy that it's an honor and a privilege for you to have kids with a man that you deem is superior to the other options that you have.
Nah, I can't.
All right, cool.
It takes
All
two.
right,
It takes two.
cool.
Cause without without me, it could be no family. A family is a family. Like, if you renting, you need 3 times the rent. It's a teamwork thing. Cause if I lack of, you supposed to be able to, all right, well here, this and that. If I'm struggling, all right, if I can't get it, all right, I'm gonna need you to get that. It's nothing wrong with that. Like, so
It's something
that's
wrong with that, baby. It's something. In order for any family to sustain, there has to be balance. You're talking about this 50-50 stuff as if it really exists. If I have to get out of my bed to work 8 hours, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, which I do right now, and then I have to still come home and I still have to tend to the children, I have to take care of the home, I have to give you sex, I have to stroke your ego, and I have to restore you from all that you've been through throughout the day. What am I left with for myself? You would never be able to outwork a good woman. You should find a capable woman, but you do not want a working woman.
I like
When the
that.
chips are down, yes, baby, I am capable of rolling up my sleeves and doing what we got to do to get back on our feet. With the notion that once you are stable, you are going to relieve me of that duty because it is not my job. But if I got to get out of my bed and go work for a man, guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing? I'm excuse my language, I'm fucking with two men because I have to get out of my bed and go appease one at work, do what he tells me to do, follow his orders, get
Whoa!
the whatever, and then you want me to come home and then appease you? Oh, and then take care of the kids? Oh, then cook and clean? Oh, then you want some sex?
Oh my
You
God.
want all that on me for the sake of making it easier on you? If I'm willing to roll back my sleeves and work two jobs, which I'm doing right now, what you think I'm expect you to do? You better be willing to work four. You
Come
better be willing to
on!
take
That's hard.
off your shirt.
That's hard.
If I roll up a sleeve, you better be willing to take off your shirt for me.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is why feminism is destructive. That is why feminism was a bad idea. Because at the end of the day, what are we looking at right now? Because I'm going to break it down. I broke this down in some of my earliest, you go all the way to the bottom of the page. I break these down in like 40-minute videos, man. But I'm going to give you a taste today. So you have these women who are begging for the ability to join the workforce and get equal wages. The women get in here and then they get the equal wages and they do the work. So now they are a part of the economy. Now they're working. Now they're earning. Guess what they do once they get the equality that they ask for? They want to be equal to men, yet they still want superior men. It's like, bruh, it's very simple. She said, if I'm working two jobs, you better be working four. She expects the man to work two times as hard as her. And it can be implied that she wants the man to make two times as much as her. She wants a superior man. That's just what it is. And I don't knock the whole notion that men have to be providers or anything like that. I will get to that in a moment. But this is the thing. Again, women fought for the ability to, work and be in the workforce and stuff like that. But when they have to actually go to work when they have a man, now they want to throw that and use that against a man and tell them that their boss at their job is the other mate that they're fucking with. That's where the imbalance is. You heard her say at the top of this clip that there needs to be balance. That's where the imbalance truly is. It's in the woman wanting equality, being able to work. And you might think this sounds ridiculous, but logically, look at it. Look at it. Even when they're given equality, they still want a superior man financially. That's just what it is. So a woman being equal to a man is just not good for the state of the nuclear family, relationships, society. That's just what it is. That's just the real. See, this is the thing about when you go back into the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, the 30s, and all of this stuff. When it came down to it, the economy, first off, the economy was different and feminism hadn't advanced to where it's advanced now. Those two things, if you just look at those two things, what position did it automatically put a man in? If you were a working man, you were a superior man to the woman. You were a automatic provider. You were automatically able to provide for a family. You were automatically able to pay the bills, buy a house, buy a car or two. And even if you were in poverty, that was the case. Even if you were in poverty, that was the case. We used to have jobs like steel mills where you could just go after you get out of high school. You could choose if you want to go to college and get a white collar job. But if you don't, guess what? The car manufacturers and the steel mills and just all of those industrial things, the jobs that they took away, you were able to just go down, get you a good union job or something like that, and then be set, be super set to where it's like, this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. You're going to provide. She's going to stay home. You're going to bring home the ham hocks and all of that shit. She's going to chop it up. She's going to raise the kids. That's how things used to work. Post-feminism, you hear this woman who is single, does not have a man. She's talking about she works 2 jobs now. She is trying to make it, bruh. She is trying to make it by herself. And this is the thing. The man, first off, she hates it. She hates it. But the man is trying to preach this 50-50 stuff that really is only a conversation in the black community. If you see it in the white community, if you see it amongst white people, it's only a conversation because they took it from black people on social media and started using it for their dating shows. It's not a narrative or a conversation amongst white people. You can't find it. I've always said this. But she hates that. When he speaks to 50-50 stuff, she hates that. And then she goes back to this traditional page, traditional, how it's supposed to be. And a man should provide and a woman should just stay home and wash the dishes and not have to work. He should alleviate her all the work, even though she's supposed to be equal. The economy, and I'm not going to get this deep on this, but the economy is not built for that. The economy is not built for the average man, just the average man, to get a job and to be able to provide for a woman that doesn't work, nonetheless, 2, 3 other kids and possibly a dog. It just doesn't work like that anymore. For a man to do that, you got to be making 150 type shit. And even then, it depends on where you work. If you in New York, I don't know if that's going to be the best for you, buddy. If you're in LA, I don't know if that's going to be the best for you, buddy. Now, if you're in Iowa, that's incredible. But all of that aside, if you just watch this and you listen to her, she has a lot of conviction and it sounds good. A lot of women are sharing this on all platforms and they think this is the one because she just says the word nurturing and childbearing and a piece of me is dying and it sounds good. It plays to their egos. But really, this woman is out of touch with reality. She doesn't know what's going on. She's not aware of the fallacy in her logic as far as, you're able to work and what's going on with the economy and things like that. But you want to not be able to work. You have to work by yourself to sustain a life. The man has to work by himself to sustain his life. You guys come together and you just stop working. We don't live in that type of world anymore. We don't live in that type of America. So with that being said, that's why, in these cases, and just for relations and things like that, not only is feminism a detriment, but even just from an economy standpoint, the average man is not in a position to where the average man was anywhere from 1940, through 1968, whatever. It's just not the same. It's not the same. So with that, things need to alter a little bit. Really, honestly, if we're going to be honest, the structure of relationships is going to look different. Now, a guy, if you look at what is going to be on a guy, what's going to happen is a guy is going to still have to work. He's still going to have to do everything that a guy does. And a guy is still going to have to try and be his best self. But what is a woman going to have to do? A woman is going to have to let go of what used to be and what people are telling her that it is and adapt to the world that the women before her helped create. The post-feminism world, the post-feminism America. And they're going to have to stop punishing men for wanting them to provide money for the household as well. But this is the thing about that. If you listen to the ego, the heavy ego that she had throughout the video, honor and a privilege to have your kids. Yet, if I'm working, I'm fucking with two men. If I'm working 2 jobs, you got to be working 4. When you hear those things, these women, as far as a modern woman, their brains are not capable of compromise like that. So if you are out here, good luck finding a woman who understands what it is. And I'm not going to lie to you. The woman is probably going to come from a culture outside of America. And I'll leave it at that.